Oh, welcome to 3 by 5 news, views, and reviews. Scribble on index cards. We get in and we get out fast. So keep up. Russia is close to capturing the major Ukraine city of Pokrovsk. That doesn't mean it's anywhere close to winning the war. Though I don't know how Russia will ever be able to make the claim that they won the war with a straight face when they already a cool 250,000 of their troops have been killed. Still, taking Pokrovsk would be good optics, as they say, for Russia. Speaking of which, a Ukraine on its back foot or eventually losing control of its own country would be bad optics for Trump. He thought he could slide by with giving Ukraine minimal, begrudging aid. But a loss for Ukraine is a loss for Trump. He will go down in history as the coward who stood down and let Russia have its way with Ukraine and then Europe. That would be the blackest of all black marks beside Trump's name. A darkness as deep as his black hole of a soul. Utterly irredeemable. I was just thinking, during the War of 1812, the British invaded Washington, D.C. and set fire to the Capitol building and the White House. Recently, someone else exhorted his troops to attack the Capitol building, January 6th that is, and later demolished part of the White House, the East End. You know who I am talking about, the human wrecking ball himself. We struggle to understand why Republicans, especially Trump and his crawling maggots, sorry I couldn't help it, lie all the time and are so vicious and cruel. As for possible underlying causes, you can always point to the tried and true lack of affection on the part of their parents, as well as reinforcement of the resentments by friends and family. That's right, their friends and family reinforce the resentments. Then, of course, they are exposed to an endless supply of homogeneous, repetitive social media, always the same, reflecting the earliest links that they clicked on. By presuming a lack of evolution, whether personal or political, on the part of the user, algorithms ensure it, that lack of evolution, that is. Thus do Republicans come to view our core beliefs, human rights, equality, justice, not as values, but as existential threats to their status as whites as the dominant group. Since they view politics, or life in America in general, as total war, or war without limits, they believe the ends, their very survival, justify almost any means. Maybe any means. The rule of law goes right out the window, as do war crimes, such as killing suspected drug dealers on the high seas. As you can imagine, that leaves no room for empathy, which they view as a sign of weakness, a chink in their armor, through which a fatal lance might pierce. This is embodied by Trump's ruthless, Rasputin-like advisor, Stephen Miller. In his anti-immigrant zeal, he seems to forget that his family didn't come over on the Mayflower. In an aside, why does he identify with Anglos and WASPs? He still identifies as Jewish, though he doesn't seem to attend services. Both his paternal and maternal great-great-grandparents were Jews who immigrated to America, like some of mine, around the turn of the last century from the Russian Empire because of the pogroms or attacks on Jews. Because of his rejection of empathy, Miller is apparently incapable of imagining that today's immigrants, including refugees, are no different from his ancestors seeking asylum in the United States. It's at this point that I need to point out that empathy is a subset of imagination. If you can't imagine, as Miller and his ilk can't seem to, you are also incapable of empathizing. One would be forgiven for expecting his wife, Katie, who has become a popular MAGA lifestyle YouTuber and also appears on shows such as Piers Morgan as a defender of all things MAGA, would, despite that, be something of a moderating influence. While I don't think it's fair to expect that from the wives of evil men, such as J.D. Vance's wife as well, it's natural to speculate. After all, Katie Miller is the mother of 3 children. Well, don't hold your breath. A book recounts how during the first Trump administration, she was sent by the Department of Homeland Security, the DHS, to the border to witness family separations of undocumented immigrants firsthand. Her response, open quote, DHS sent me to the border to see the separations for myself, to try to make me more compassionate. Editor's note, I'm skeptical about that, but it didn't work, close quote. Also, open quote, my family and colleagues told me that when I have kids, I'll think about the separations differently. But I don't think so, close quote. Okay. Well, at least she and Stephen are soulmates. The watchwords, mantra, slogan of Trump and his people. Always be destroying.